Society of the Pacific. This is our Astronomy at Home story time. I wanted to let you know that we will be recording this session. And so if you miss any of it, or if you want to share it with your friends later, you'll be able to watch the video. And I also wanted to let you know we'll be recording it so that if you don't want your face to be in the recording, you can turn off your camera. It looks like we have a lot of friends joining us. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. So this is our first time doing a story time like this on Zoom because we all have to stay home right now. So we're trying it out. It's brand new for us. And we hope that you have some fun. Like I said, we're joining you from San Francisco, California, from the Astronomical Society of the Pacific, and we're an organization that helps people learn all about astronomy, which is about looking at the sky, at stars, and planets, and the moon. And we want to help you learn about astronomy through our story time, because now is a great time that you can all be looking up at the sky together and learning about what you see up there. So this is a program we're going to do every Monday at this time. So we hope that you'll join us again and again. And for our first story time this week, we're going to be hearing a story called Breakfast Moon, written by Meg Gower and illustrated by David Barker, and it's published by us here at the Astronomical Society of the Pacific. So if you like the book and you want to know more about it, I'm going to share a link at the end about where you can find out more about Breakfast Moon. I just wanted to let you know that right now you're muted, so we can't hear you. And we're going to keep it that way because otherwise there might be too many people talking at once and it'll be hard to hear the story. But Theresa, who's going to be reading the book, might ask some questions while she's reading it. And if you're here with a grown-up or some siblings, or if you're watching with anyone else, when we ask the question, you can talk about it together and see if you can figure out the answer together. All right? I think that's everything. After we read the book, I'm going to come back and tell you a little bit about how you can look for the moon together in the sky. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to Theresa to read Breakfast Moon.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see everyone out there in the world. And I'm going to read this book, Breakfast Moon, as Anna was telling you about. It's a storybook that we made because we know kids love science. And so we wanted to have a scientifically accurate book about the moon. So let's get started. Breakfast Moon by Meg Gower, and the pictures are by David Barker. It helps to start a story on the first page. Day 1, Tuesday. "Wake up, May," my little brother shouted. "The breakfast moon is here." If you looked in May's room, you might see a clock that might remind you of a planet. I jumped up to find the moon. I wondered what shape it would be. The moon had been full a few nights ago. Now it would be in the morning sky. And guess what? The moon was full a few nights ago in our world too, not just in the storybook world. So you might be able to look for the morning moon also. I saw it right away. What breakfast food does it look like, Arthur? Do you see the moon? It's a hat, said Arthur. You can't eat a hat, I said. It looks more like a fried egg to me. Mom and Dad agreed, so we all had fried eggs for breakfast. And that's their game, making up what shape the moon looks like in terms of their breakfast food. Let's make a breakfast moon journal, I said. What's a journal? Arthur asked. Do you guys know what a journal is? It's a notebook where you write and draw what happens every day, I explained. Here's their journal page. They drew a picture of their houses and the view out the window. Day 2, Wednesday. I found the breakfast moon, Arthur called out before I was even out of bed. I didn't see it right away because the sky was dotted with clouds. The moon was playing hide and seek. Do you see the moon? Arthur pointed at the moon. Arthur pointed at what I thought was a cloud. There, he said, it looks like my turtle. Well, we're not going to have our pet for breakfast. I tipped my head. The moon to me looked like a bowl. What's for breakfast, May? Asked Dad. Cereal. So this day, day 2 in their journal, they drew the moon in the sky, but they also drew what it reminded them of. A turtle in a bowl. Day 3, Thursday. I was first to the window today. No hide and seek. The breakfast moon was right there. There's nothing else in the sky but the moon. It looked like half of something to me. Waffles, I shouted, but Arthur had a different idea. To him, it looked like a boat. I was starting to see a pattern. Can you see it too? What is it? What is the pattern? They looked at day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. If you think you know what the pattern is, keep that in your head. And let's find out what happens on the next day. Day 4, Friday. I couldn't find the moon. The sky was filled with clouds again, but Arthur just walked by the window and pointed. This one's kind of tricky. Do you see where the moon is? It's right here. I bet some of you guessed that. Yay, my boat has a sail, Arthur giggled. Then I saw it. Toasted, warm, creamy, and buttery. I wonder what it would look like tomorrow. So there is what they saw. Did the pattern you were looking at, did you guess that the prediction would be kind of like this? Was your prediction like that? And now that we have more days, maybe you're starting to see the pattern if you didn't see it before. Kaboom! Crashing thunder woke me. No moon was in sight. I got worried. How would we know what to have for breakfast? Can you think back? But then I remembered the pattern. What shape do you think the moon is going to be? Is it going to be a square? Have you ever seen the moon be a square? Try and take a guess which shape you think the moon will be. And here's the pattern if you want to look. I chose the crescent shape. And yummy cantaloupe for breakfast. Arthur seemed to be having fun thinking about something else. He was thinking of the pattern too. Was that the shape you picked? Oh, look, said Mom, the sky is clearing. We were both right, I said. And there's the family again having fish and cantaloupe for breakfast. Day 5, rainy day. Couldn't see the moon, so we guessed. It turns out we were right. Day 6, Sunday. I was glad the sun was in the sky today. I could see the crescent moon up in the sky. It was even smaller and skinnier than yesterday. But why did Arthur have a basket? Look, May, Arthur said, it's a banana moon. Watch out for the rhinoceros, I said. See if you can find a lot of crescents in this picture. The tiny moon that looks like the rhino horn and the leaves and the bananas. And there's lots of images from Arthur's imagination. Day 6, the moon looked like a banana or a rhino horn. One more guess about what day 7 is going to be. Day 7, moon day. My brother and I frowned. No breakfast moon. Did it go away? Arthur asked. No, honey, it's still there. We just can't see it anymore. Why not? I asked. Mom said, let's see your journal. What do you notice? And we're going to look at the journal page. The moon got skinnier, said Arthur. Do you really think it was getting smaller? Dad asked. No, we both said. We knew the moon was a big rock that didn't really change size. We were just using less. What else, May? Where was the moon each morning? It looked like it was moving towards the sun in the sky, I said, and now we can't see it at all. But it will come back again. This much I knew. Of course, said Dad. In a few days, we can look for the moon in the evening sky. Yay, said Arthur. Then we'll be able to eat the supper moon or go on another adventure, I said with a wink. And there's the family, sort of, with their rhinoceros and giraffe friends. And here's some supper moon ideas that you might have. And now I'm going to show you just a couple of the last pages of the book that you can download. And I'm going to turn it back to Anna because she would like to tell you about the activity for this story.
Thanks, Theresa. Did you want to show them the last couple pages?
Sure. Here's a kind of fun thing that you might not have known about the characters in the book. May's name was after Mae Jemison, and she was the first African-American astronaut to go into space. And Arthur's name was taken from Arthur B.C. Walker, who was a doctor who was a solar physicist, and he studied the sun. And there's a really nice tip that maybe Anna will talk about in just a sec.
Great, thank you. I'm gonna bring up I have a couple of pictures I want to show you. Thank you so much, Theresa. I'm gonna give you a round of applause.
Thank you. It was
So,
kind of interesting having the pictures move in the opposite direction.
yeah, it can be tricky to read a book to a big group and even trickier when you're reading it to your computer. So that was really great, Theresa. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And I'm looking now at all of your faces. Let's see. Let's make sure. There we go. And it looks like there were a lot of friends listening to the story today. So it was a fun story hearing about how May and Arthur looked for the moon every day and drew their observations in a journal. So we hope that that's something that you'll do as well. And I have a couple pictures to show you. Give me just a moment. Here we go. So think about a time when you saw the moon. When was the last time you saw the moon? Did you maybe notice the moon last week? Think about a time you saw the moon. Talk to your grown-ups or any kids who were there with you, and think about a time when you saw the moon. What did it look like? So last week we had a big full moon, and I liked this photograph of the full moon rising over my city, San Francisco, last week. Did any of you see the full moon last week? Here's another picture of a full moon, right? And when the moon is full, it's a big bright circle in the sky, and we see it in the nighttime. Sometimes, though, we see the moon during the day. Have you ever seen a daytime moon? A breakfast moon? Oops, someone's drawing on my slides. I don't even know how that works. Yeah, so there's a moon in the daytime sky. How do we know that it's daytime? Well, the sky is blue. We can see the sun shining on that tree. And this week, you can see the moon in the morning sky, just like May and Arthur saw the moon in the morning sky. So I hope that you'll go outside or look out your window every morning this week and look for that moon. And if you go to our Astronomy at Home Storytime page where you signed up to join us, you can find some tips on helping you look for the moon. So there's this activity that you can download that gives you ideas for keeping your own moon journal. And we also you can print out some pages that look like this, that look just like the journal that May and Arthur were keeping. So I hope that you'll go and look for the moon. This week you can see it, like I said, in the morning sky. Next week we'll have a new moon, so we won't be able to see it for a while. And then the week after that, you can look for it in the afternoon sky. And I also want to invite you to join us next week at this time when we're going to be reading another book called Moon Bear's Shadow. And that one is all about shadows, the sun and shadows. So we hope that you'll join us next week. And I'm going to put the link to that page where you can find where you can find these materials and also download the activities and sign up to join us next week. I'm going to put that in the chat box. We'll also be putting the video of this story time up there, so you can watch it later or share it with your friends. And that's where you can find out about what books we'll be reading in the future as well. So next week is Moon Bear Shadow, and we'll have other books every Monday after that, all about the sky and stars and astronomy. So thank you, everyone. That's our story time. Thank you, Theresa.
Thanks, Anna, and thank you everybody for joining. It's been a really nice half hour, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we can stick around for a few minutes if anyone has any questions, but if you are all done, you're welcome to take off. Thanks, everyone.
What do you want to say?
I gotta stop the recording so that we can have questions from folks.